be ashamed to retrace our steps after having arrived so far. And we are nearly there.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the horror flicks that feature the most scandalous bits and pieces.
Not quite blonde, are you? More dirty blonde.
Number 10, Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers. Slasher cinema's golden age was already in the rear view by the time this sequel to Sleepaway Camp was released back in 1988. Unhappy Campers goes all in with a satirical black comedy while also indulging in plenty of skin.
This isn't the way back. Angela! Angela, come on! I'm sorry. Where the hell are you? Right here.
The actors and characters are both presented as older here, which gives Sleepaway Camp 2 plenty of time to showcase them in various stages of undress.
Hey. Who says we get the boys back tonight?
Oh, yeah. Tonight, Mary, she's really angry.
Valerie Hartman's character of Allie Burgess might win the award for most explicit sex and death scenes, etching her character forever in Sleepaway Camp's Scandalous Hall of Fame.
You pissed away your good looks and God-given talent your whole life and turned it into nothing but a cynical, dirty-mouthed waste of flesh.
Number 9, Nude for Satan. This one just says it right there in the title. Nude for Satan arrived late to Italy's Gothic horror cycle, which thrived during the 1960s. Director Luigi Barzella then decided to up the ante in terms of eroticism and nudity in order to compete with successful exploitation cinema of the day. Nude for Satan still retains all of the atmospheric and even dreamlike tropes usually associated with this genre, only tempered with quite a bit of bare skin. Lead Rita Calderoni was no stranger to quirky and chaotic Italian productions, but the camera clearly loves her, and the movie benefits from her inclusion. There's even an extended cut featuring more explicit shots of adult film stars inserted into the sex scenes. Number 8, Piranha 3D and Piranha 3 Double D.
It wasn't just a party. Seems like Lake Vic was the center of a light quake. So if you see some scientist types out there on the lake, hand them a cold one.
Just like my nano, she's sucking it. I'm loving it.
The original Piranha from 1978 did a great job at combining comedy and horror, but its spiritual remakes from the 2010s showed little regard for legitimate scares. Instead, both Piranha 3D and Piranha 3 Double D went the fast and cheap route with excessive blood and CGI fish. The nudity quotient, however, was clearly high on the priority list for both films. The lion's share of skin in 3 Double D comes from the extras, but there's still plenty of it. The sex and nudity in this pair of flicks are unapologetic, creative, and bountiful.
Make love to me. Please.
Right now?
Please, Josh. Right now, I think something's really wrong with me, and if I don't get better, I don't want to die a virgin.
Number 6, Virgin Witch. The swinging 60s had given rise to the permissive 1970s by the time Virgin Witch was released in 1971. Society's interest in the occult was also approaching an all-time high, which meant that this British horror film could combine the best of both worlds.
And where have you been all this time? Looking around. Got a job? Think so. Tell us, for heaven's sake. No, not until I'm sure.
Modelling, sex and Satan all swirl around sisters Anne and Vicky Michelle, who portray runaway siblings that run afoul of a promiscuous coven.
The poor old public is permanently spellbound.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
And now that we're together, you and I, they'd better watch out. We're going to make a great team.
This means that the audience gets eyeballs of the Michelle sisters in miniskirts, out of the shower, and on the altar of sacrifice during a satanic orgy. If that sounds like a good time to you, then Virgin Witch will definitely be your bag, baby.
This sort of thing ain't my bag, baby.
One book, Swedish-made penis enlarger pumps and me. This sort of thing is my bag, baby.
Number 6, The Return of the Living Dead. It isn't so much the prevalence of nudity in 1985's The Return of the Living Dead that earns it a spot on our list, but rather one very specific and iconic scene.
Do you ever fantasize
about being killed.
Linnea Quigley is one of horror's best-known and most beloved scream queens, but she'll probably always be associated with this graveyard striptease performed by her character, Trash.
I wonder, what would be the most horrible way to die?
Try not to think about dying too much.
Quigley's pre-strip monologue is something else, and instantly quotable. Meanwhile, that sound you hear during Trash's big moment is a million VCRs hitting rewind at the same exact time. It was a scene that shot Quigley into cult fandom history forever. But if we're being honest, this Scream Queen was awesome in everything. Number 5. Vampires. The cinema of José Ramón Larraz frequently combined boundary-pushing sexuality with generous amounts of bloodletting. Vampires was perhaps this Spanish director's most successful export, a titillating expansion of the Carmilla archetype of carnal undead predators.
You'll never guess. I'll bet you anything you like.
Don't be too sure, I'm an expert. And I've recognized some very obscure wines in my time.
Larraz's films such as 1982's Black Candles were daring for their time, yet it was vampires that highlighted the filmmaker's creative vision for the widest audience. Leads Marianne Morris and Anuka Jabinska put in performances that are brave and without a shred of modesty, as sexually charged vampires that waylay unwary travelers.
Miriam, darling, I'm afraid you'll have to go down to the cellar to fetch some more. I'm sure Rupert will be able to help you in the choice of an excellent vintage.
With pleasure.
Let's go, then.
There's just no other way to say it. Vampires is a hot movie, but it's also an atmospheric and well-made movie, one that's definitely worth your time.
This wine comes from a remote part of the Carpathian Mountains.
The Carpathians?
Yes, that's right. Lucky you didn't have a bet on it.
Number 4. American Psycho. Nudity in horror movies isn't always just there for titillation. The nudity and sex in Mary Harron's American Psycho, though fairly explicit, tends to take a back seat to explorations of character.
My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, in a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches.
Harron and her co-screenwriter Guinevere Turner adapted Bret Easton Ellis's novel with a focus on the lead's tenuous grip on reality. Meanwhile, the over-the-top gore and violence land somewhere between absurd and terrifying.
I mean, I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
So yeah, there's skin in American Psycho, but you just might be too worried about Patrick Bateman's grip on that axe to focus on anything else.
I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square. A song so catchy, most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends, it's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul!
Number 3. Species. This cinematic debut for Natasha Henstridge proved to be a demanding one, especially when it came to both prosthetics and nudity.
Where are you from?
I'm foreign.
You what?
I'm foreign.
Foreign, really?
Famed Swiss surrealist H.R. Giger helmed the creature design for this sci-fi horror hybrid, but it would be Henstridge that laid everything bare up on the silver screen. The sexual politics of Species could be seen as problematic by today's standards.
Like it?
Yes.
I feel like a shower. You want one? Tell you what, I'm gonna take one. Wanna get in and take one later? No problem.
Henstridge's nudity is often presented in a salacious manner, allowing some room for motivation and pathos, but usually just focusing upon the actress's beauty. That said, Species captured something in the zeitgeist and was popular enough to warrant 3 sequels.
How did you get in here?
I stole the key.
What?
I saw you downstairs, but you're with all those people. So I thought I'd come up and wait.
Number 2. Friday the 13th.
I don't care where you're from. The first time that I saw you, girl, you had me sprung. Just the way that my name rolls off your tongue. Damn near knocked all the wind out my lungs. Baby girl, you the one, you the maximum.
Whenever anyone discusses 80s slasher movies and nudity, this franchise is bound to come up. The 2009 remake/reimagining actually managed to up the skin ante, even by Friday's formidable standards. Heck, there's a bunch of skin and sex before we even see the title screen.
Come on.
have sex with your boyfriend in a cramped little tent.
Meanwhile, Friday the 13th, 2009 can also boast one of the franchise's most explicit sex scenes. We're referring, of course, to the infamous coupling of Trent and Bree. Their enthusiastic canoodling has got to set a record for one of the most over-the-top Friday the 13th sex scenes of all time.
Hey, new guy. Beer?
No. He's got to get going. You got flyers to pass out, right?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Lifeforce. Frances Matilda May has enjoyed a long and fruitful career playing a wealth of expressive and complex characters. Yet, for better or worse, she may always be best known as Space Girl from 1985's Lifeforce.
Close your eyes.
This Tobe Hooper joint was May's second film, and required her to be naked, well, practically all the time. Lifeforce was adapted from a book titled The Space Vampires, and it delivers on all of the wild creature effects implied by that title.
Does she intend to kill him?
No.
Why not?
She's afraid of being caught.
How could she be caught?
The body would give her away.
So what is she hoping to do?
She wants to draw some energy from him.
It's May's unfettered performance that ultimately allowed Lifeforce to achieve a second life on home video, since the film initially bombed at the box office. Because why wouldn't you want to rent a VHS with a naked vampire space girl?
We entered your minds and found there new bodies. I took my shape from your mind. I took your language. I became the woman I found there in your deepest thoughts.
Does an abundance of nudity influence your decision to watch a horror movie? Be honest and tell us in the comments.
I've got a party to go to and no one to take me.
Where is this party?
I don't know.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.